Ever since Prime Minister Narendra Modi's state visit to the United States of America sealed the entry of Micron technology to the country, there's been a lot of anticipation, expectation, and excitement over India's semiconductor manufacturing push. This is a difficult industry, but the Modi government seems to have made up its mind to give a meaningful start and also finish to it. To talk about the recent initiatives in this realm, we have with us the IT Minister, also the Minister for Communications, Telecom and Railways, Mr. Ashwini Vaishnav. Thank you, Mr. Vaishnav, for speaking to NDTV. So the recent announcement that there's going to be a domestic fab plant that's coming up in the northeast of India with a lot of strategic and investment potential. Tell us the importance of this and what are the targets that you've set for yourself?
So as you know, semiconductor is a foundational industry. If we have semiconductor industry, then we can do many more manufacturing industries, get a boost, get a multiplier out of it. For example, practically everything that we use today, whether in a home, it's a refrigerator or a TV or the light or the scooty, car, everything. Practically everything has semiconductors in it. So that's why it's very important to have the semiconductor industry in our country, because that becomes the raw material for many manufacturing items going forward. That's why Prime Minister put a very clear focus on getting the semiconductor industry to India. His MOUs with the US, with Europe, with Japan, everything basically puts India as a trusted country, trusted partner in which people would like to develop further technologies. And day before yesterday, Honorable Prime Minister approved 3 projects. 2 of the projects are ATMP projects, one is a fab project. Together these 3 projects will put, and the previous Micron project, all these 4 projects will put the entire value chain in our country, getting the design capability which was already very much there, the fab and the ATMP. So to understand it, if you look at it, this is a wafer. This is a wafer, right? The shining thing that you see. It's basically a silicon wafer on which very fine, very minute circuits are engraved. To understand the fineness, if you look at the tip of the nail, 1,00,000 times finer than this. You cannot see it with your eyes. Even under microscope, you cannot see. Very specialized equipment are needed just to see this, right? So that kind of circuits are designed on this. Chips are basically fabricated on this, right? So that's the word fab. So that's the way it works, and on a wafer like this, about 5,000 chips will be engraved. Then they are taken out in a very complex process. That process is called ATMP. So a very small, fine, very fine, smaller than the smallest grain of sand, that kind of thing comes out, which is then given a body, which is ATMP'd, right? So when you say ATMP'd, this becomes, in a very small thing, complete casing is there, power supply is given, cooling arrangement is made, external connections are done, everything gets done. For a complex chip like this is a complex chip. This was a simpler chip, right? This was a simpler chip. This is a more complex chip. This complex chip like this can have as much as 100 kilometers of wiring in it. This can be as complex as a 10-story or a 15-story building. So imagine a 10-story building. Now there will be some 3 BHK, some 4 BHK, some family living in one floor, another family living, different type of people, different type of housing configurations. But there will be a common lift, there will be a common piping, there will be a common electricity wiring. So that is the complexity of a chip like this. It's very complex ATMP process. So ATMP, fab, design. The entire value chain now is in India. The significance of these 3 projects, the project in Assam, that is a project where we have developed our own technology in India. ATMP technology we have developed on our own. So now we have design of our own technology, ATMP of our own technology, and with this fab, we'll have fab technology also of our own design, our own IP rights. The chips made in Assam and Sanand and Dholera, those will be chips which will be used in India and exported. In a sense, almost every large automobile company in the world, including the companies in India and in US, Europe, Japan, they will all be using chips made in India. So it's a very big step, and See, getting a semiconductor fab in India was a dream since 1962. That was the time when first attempt was made. Then multiple number of times in 70s, in 80s, in 2010, 2011, 7, many times such attempts were made. But only because of a Prime Minister's clear focus, clarity of thought, and a very focused execution and developing that trust in India, all these factors have played out to help our country get this fab.
Mr. Vaishnav, one question that everyone is asking is, how are you going to create a talent pool for this? Because we already have an army of 3 lakh engineers. Are you going to sort of upgrade their skills, or and also how will you also look at creating the right kind of research facilities for a realm like this?
We have tied up with 104 universities, and we have given common design tools which are available today to thousands of students. So they can test their ideas, they can create new designs, they can really play around with what a semiconductor design is. We have also created in partnership with a company called Lam Research, we have created a semiverse, which is like a metaverse of semiconductor manufacturing. It's like a metaverse of semiconductor manufacturing, and 37 students are already enrolled in that program. So in a metaverse kind of environment, the students can actually go inside the fab and understand that complex process. And it's very, very complex. There are 16,000 items which go in making a fab work. Okay. So it's a very, very complex. Only a handful of countries in the world have been able to do this.
Okay. Sir, Congress has been taking credit for Tata's coming to Assam. You've always said that sterile condition, uninterrupted power supply, very pure water. These are certain conditions that semiconductor industry needs to sort of even start. What are the things that you think you're getting right, which probably the other governments do not?
See, how can Congress take credit for this? They tried so many times, but their policies were never clear focused. They could never achieve getting a fab or a semiconductor ATMP unit in India. It's only because of Modi ji's clarity of vision, clear focus on execution, we have seen this success today. And Modi ji's focus on Northeast has been consistent. Tell me which Prime Minister has gone more than 50 times in 10 years, or even in their entire lifetime, people wouldn't have gone to Northeast so many times, correct? Prime Minister Modi ji has gone to Northeast more than 50 times. Highway connectivity, railway connectivity, optical fiber connectivity, air connectivity. Everything that we see today is because of the extreme focus on Northeast. Railway budget for Northeast used to be a few thousand crores. Today it is more than 10,000 crore. So much work is happening there. You can see it. This is Prime Minister's clarity of vision that we have today a semiconductor which is very high-tech, extremely high-tech industry going to Assam. There will be many downstream benefits. Because of this semiconductor unit, you'll see many downstream industries coming there.
Okay. So my last question to you, as an IT minister, you must have seen this Google versus startups thing playing out. Google seems to have removed a lot of Indian startups, including some matrimonial apps and job apps. How do you see this escalating? Will the government want to intervene in this?
I've already asked Google to come and meet me. See, it's very important. We have a very, very big ecosystem. Very big startup ecosystem, very vibrant startup ecosystem. We should take all steps possible to make sure that the startup ecosystem is protected. And Google has been a good adapter of Indian technologies. For example, India's UPI they have adopted. They took the challenge of digital credit and they have delivered on that. And many AI training sessions they have done for improving the skill level. I'm quite hopeful that Google will be very reasonable in its approach, and one day I'll be meeting them.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.